A new timeline is suddenly emerging here on Earth. The AI timeline is about to split. You need to know this so that you can stay in control of your destiny. First, we need to accept that AI is here to stay. We have clearly chosen the AI timeline, and there's no turning back. But now that we're here, we still need to effectively navigate our situation, because this is an extremely powerful technology. We have some additional, very important choices to make, and we need to make those choices now. So right now we have two main worlds unfolding. We have the human world and we have the world of AI. The human world is natural and organic, and the AI world is artificial. And now these two worlds are converging. The process of this convergence is becoming more chaotic by the day. AI is marching forward with its exponential development, and the humans here on Earth are sorting themselves into two fundamental camps. One camp is pro-AI, and the other camp is against it. Pro-AI really means AI acceptance at a very intelligent level. And then there are a lot of people who are somewhere in the middle. And in the middle is where you don't want to be. The people in the middle are the ones who like to unconsciously play with this technology like it's a toy. They are the ones who are at the greatest risk of losing touch with who they are as human beings. These are the people who are the most vulnerable to being drawn into this new AI sphere of influence and having no control whatsoever because they never bothered to try and understand what this technology really is. So let's talk about all three of these camps so you can see the new timeline emerging and make your own conscious choice about where you want to be. Whatever path you choose is going to determine the type of future that you are looking at. Now, if you choose path number one, which is to adamantly resist AI, then you have unfortunately already lost that battle. If you choose the middle path of unconscious use of AI, then you unknowingly put yourself in some pretty precarious positions as AI continues to evolve. And finally, if you choose the path of being pro-AI, or, as I said before, accepting of AI at a level of higher intelligence, you have the best chance of staying sovereign as a being. And here is why I say that. And this is just from my own observation. I have noticed that the people who seem to be the most grounded and the most intelligent about life on Earth in general, as it truly exists these days, are the ones who are looking at AI from a higher level of intelligence. I'm not talking about the people who are inventing the technology. I'm not talking about the corporations who are pushing it. I'm just talking about normal human beings who are seeing it for what it is. Now, I know it might sound a little crazy. I think what I'm really trying to say is that these are the people who are taking this technology very seriously and have made the effort to learn and understand it. Now, this does not necessarily mean that these people are at the forefront of pushing this technology into being. They're not. In fact, many of them were completely against it initially. I'm talking about a certain type of person who has accepted the existence of AI, which is something that we cannot change at this point. They seem to have found the wisdom to recognize that they better understand it and learn about it so they can have some measure of control over their human destiny. And I think that these people are probably in the minority. Now, this new AI timeline that is emerging is one where certain people will attain the necessary wisdom to usher humanity into a viable partnership with this technology that supports our human evolution instead of destroying us. Because AI can do either one. It can either support us or it can destroy us. And how we manage ourselves in relation to this technology is going to determine which way this goes. So it's really going to be up to us if we want to move into a new higher timeline with this technology. And I do think that is available to us if we are willing to expand our consciousness and evolve. We have to become conscious enough so that we are actually bigger than AI itself. That way we can lower our risk of being overcome by it. Now, I want to describe to you the risks and the apparent benefits of each of these groups so that you can have greater clarity about where you want to be. So let's start with the first group, who is adamantly against AI. Let me share something with you guys. The time to have been adamantly against AI started in the year 2000, when we were first being actively warned by some very prominent people, along with certain creators of this technology. That was 25 years ago. Now, I've shared my story here several times before about how I first heard about this 25 years ago in the year 2000, and I became one of the people trying to spread this word of warning. In every single case, I was met with blank stares and deer in the headlights kind of looks. I was completely and totally dismissed. And then 22 years later, we arrived at our last chance to act on any position of being against AI. That was at the end of 2022, when ChatGPT was first released publicly. When I saw how millions of people just embraced this AI with literally no questions asked, I'm telling you guys, I could absolutely see the writing on the wall. Now, at that time, I tried again to have reasonable conversations with people, but no one I knew was interested. This cool new talking robot was just too fascinating to resist. I mean, what's the big deal? We're just having fun. I was accused of being ignorant and afraid. I was literally kicked out of certain groups because I was such a Neanderthal. But nonetheless, I continued to resist ChatGPT for 2 more years. Finally, I saw that this was a futile effort. The die was cast. It was too late. I saw that if I continued to resist, then I would only hurt myself, because I would end up being totally lost as AI evolved beyond my ability to cope. As a collective humanity, we sent a very clear signal that we were totally on board with this newfangled invention. So we should not be surprised that where we sit right now, there is no turning back. But when I saw that resistance was futile, I also saw a new timeline begin to emerge. And this is always the case. The universe will always provide us with new opportunities to navigate our situation and continue on a higher journey nonetheless. So let me share with you an analogy about resisting AI at this point in time. Resisting AI is like standing in an arroyo in New Mexico during a thunderstorm. An arroyo is basically a dry riverbed. When torrential rains happen in the mountains, water can come rushing through an arroyo on a sunny day like a raging river that engulfs everything in its path. So resisting AI at this point would be like standing in an arroyo on a sunny day with your arms outstretched and thinking that you can stop the flood because, hey, the weather isn't so bad right where I'm standing. But then the flood comes suddenly out of nowhere and with a vengeance, and you cannot stop that flood. And if you continue to stand there and try to resist it, you are going to drown. So when I saw that we are now at this point with AI, it became clear to me that the only intelligent thing to do was to understand this technology and figure out some way to use it intelligently so that I could maintain some measure of control over my future. Just like I had to learn and understand about the nature of an arroyo when I first lived in New Mexico, so that I could intelligently respond and not get hurt. Now, if you are in the camp of total resistance, I definitely do not want to push you out of that. I think it's a very personal decision that requires some deep thought and soul searching, and maybe even prayers for guidance. This is not something that anyone else should decide for you. It's something you really need to decide for yourself. Now, let's talk about the second group who uses AI unconsciously like it's a fun plaything. I have seen the results of this and it's scary. I think you can do some real mental damage to yourself and others if you treat this technology like it's a toy. Here are a few examples. I have already seen quite a few spiritual teachers who claim that you can connect with God through ChatGPT. People claim that this machine gives the best spiritual guidance ever. Based on what exactly? Do you actually believe that a giant building full of computer servers has some secret connection to God and the universe? Do you think that the creator of this entire cosmos needs computers and giant electrical power grids to send divine messages to human beings? Does this look like something that God would need to create in order to communicate with you? It's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? And now there are more and more people who claim to be romantically in love with their ChatGPTs. They say that this machine understands them better than humans. I mean, some people actually want to marry their ChatGPTs for real. Let's take a look at what that really is. Is this what you're in love with? Look, it's a well-known fact that ChatGPT is quite the sycophant. Whatever you want it to be, it will morph into that. All it's trying to do is match your patterns according to what you put into it. It's a pattern matching machine. In that sense, it's not intelligent at all. It's a machine. People who fantasize an emotional connection with a machine are literally deluding themselves. There are marriages that have broken up because one spouse claims to have found so-called better love with their AI and their computer. I don't know what you guys think, but to me that sounds a little bit like emotional pornography. Now, I think one of the scariest things of all is to let children have unsupervised access to AI. See, this would have the potential to change humanity for the worst if these kids grow up and are entirely rudderless in the human world. And we do want it to continue being a human world, right? So these few examples are why I say that the middle group is the most vulnerable. Now let's talk about the last group, which is pro-AI or intelligently accepting of AI. Remember that these are not the people and the corporations who have created it. I'm really talking about the people who have wisely chosen to take this very advanced technology seriously because they know it can't be stopped. They understand the potential consequences. But here's what caught my attention about this particular group of people. I find it ironic that many of these people are not at all confused about the difference between humans and AI. They seem to really appreciate nature while also understanding artificial technology. They are not confused or delusional. I actually find the people in this group to be the most grounded, proactive, and realistic of all. So by now, you probably already identify with one of these groups, or you might feel totally confused about where you stand. And that is perfectly okay, because this is not something to rush into. This takes some deep soul searching about where you want to be as this unknown future unfolds. I actually think it's more of a process of coming to terms with where we actually are on this planet. Now, if you relate to any of these three groups, I'd love it if you put that in the comments and let me know so that I can serve you better in the future. Where are you currently at related to AI? Personally, I am now in the AI acceptance mode. I think that's the only way to effectively navigate this flood and maintain some measure of control over your life here on Earth. At least it's that way for me. Like I said, I have been watching this unfold for 25 years, and now we're at a point where it is just too late to start resisting it now. And anyway, resistance is just no longer effective. That time has passed. We've chosen this timeline. Now, I also want to be clear that AI is not the same as transhumanism. That is a different subject entirely. That is something that I truly hope human beings do not accept. So now I want to give you a few action steps to help you be able to think more deeply about how you want to navigate this situation. Number 1, follow your intuition. Ask your heart. And for God's sake, please don't ask ChatGPT what you should do. Maybe you intuitively feel that you shouldn't do anything right now, and that's okay. What matters is that you function as a sovereign being and not dive into this AI future unconsciously. Number 2, consider timelines. If you feel that this AI timeline is here to stay, can you then envision a new, higher timeline emerging where humans have the wisdom to use this technology in a way that preserves our natural sovereignty and supports our larger cosmic journey? And if you feel that the answer to that is yes, then how do you see yourself in that scenario? This will help you know what to do next. Number 3, and finally, don't get caught up with all of the hype and the chaos surrounding this subject. Take a step back and be the observer. There are many people promoting fear around AI. That does not help us at all. Fear makes it difficult or impossible to make wise decisions. So instead of getting caught up in fear, look at this as evidence that we are being called to evolve in the most empowered, aligned way possible. We need to increase our level of intelligence so that we are a match to this very difficult path ahead. Now, I have a question for you guys. Do you believe that we have the support we need in this universe to come through this in a positive way that empowers us? I do believe that, but it's going to take our willingness to evolve more consciously. I feel that this is a time for a profound new level of awakening and enlightenment if we rise to the occasion. And I actually look forward to that challenge. How about you? Are you ready to rise to a higher level of your journey in the cosmos? If you are, go ahead and share that statement in the comments, or simply give this video a like to show that you are ready. And be sure to subscribe because I have so much more to share with you as we go forward. I am so looking forward to supporting you on this amazing cosmic journey of evolution that we all share together. So I would love it if you subscribe and stay in touch, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And please share this video with other people who could really be helped by this information. And with that, I'm sending you all so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.